This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Welcome to the Baltimore Orioles POSTCAST. As always, my name is Luke Slabaugh. I am your post-game show host here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And tonight, we're celebrating a 6-0 win for the O's over the visiting Texas Rangers. As always, this show streams live to YouTube immediately after each Baltimore Orioles game, and it's available on demand after the fact on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts for free. Always great to start a series with a win, welcoming in the Texas Rangers, who have been hot and cold, middling somewhere in that AL wildcard race. And the onus was on left-hander Trevor Rogers to turn in the performance of a lifetime and the performance of his career. Trevor Rogers earns his first win as an Oriole on the longest start by a Baltimore starting pitcher this year. 8 shutout innings, 3 hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Part of an enjoyable, much-needed, dominant 6-0 decimation of the Rangers. His previous career high was 7 2/3 innings pitched back when he was an All-Star in 2021, that campaign with the Miami Marlins. And this is the Trevor Rogers that Mike Elias traded for.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Unless there's any debate, go ahead down in the comment section if you're watching or if you're in your car, say it out loud if you've got another pick for player of the game, but mine is Trevor Rogers. I've seen some comments that say, could we have a co-player of the game? Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Not really. Rogers arguably had the best start of an O's pitcher earlier this season in that doubleheader against Boston where he went 6 1/3 scoreless. And this took things to the next level. Rogers challenged hitters from inning to inning. It was staggering how good he was at attacking the zone. Last time out against Tampa, he only made it through 7 outs, 2 1/3 in that crazy 12-8 loss. He was gifted 8 runs of support and then was middling. The problem was between the ears and just he couldn't attack. Granted, he was squeezed a little bit by the umpire down there at the George Steinbrenner Mickey Mouse Stadium. What a way to recover. This is a veteran move. Good command from Rogers. His pitch mix, fastball, changeup, slider, all effective. He pitched to contact, and he trusted his defense. At his best, Trevor Rogers was getting first pitch strikes, pounding the zone, and baiting the overeager Rangers into first pitch outs. They made 6 of them. 6. And they, in the same way that we had mentioned that the O's helped out Clark Schmidt and some of the Yankees pitchers with their overeager and overaggressive approach, the Rangers played right into Rogers, and they were just eating out of his hand. It started out questionable enough. Rogers gets a 1-2-3 top of the third on 21 pitches. Gets Haggerty to line out to Colton Cowser in left field. Gets Wyatt Langford to strike out on a changeup. And then a back-and-forth at-bat with Marcus Semien and gets him looking on a backdoor sweeper. Great frame job by Chadwick Trump, the recently recalled catcher. And Rogers gives up a leadoff single to Adolis Garcia in the top of the second and then proceeds to retire 14 batters in a row. Rogers is gifted a 5-pitch top of the third. Cal Ripken Jr. in the Masson booth coaxed into staying an extra half inning longer. But the only issue and, I guess, intense or situation that was challenging for Rogers came in the top of the 6th. The Rangers only get one chance, one at-bat with a runner in scoring position. It happens with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Haggerty singles on this chop ground ball to Ramon Urias. He can't field it in time. It's not an error. He just was letting to see how far it would go. Gunnar Henderson picks it up. It's an infield single. Not a whole lot you can do about that. It breaks the streak of 14 batters retired in a row. And then Wyatt Langford takes a sinker middle low, hits it to left field. So with 2 outs, it's Marcus Semien, a good at-bat worker and a veteran. for the Rangers, part of that World Series team in 2023. Eventually, Rogers offers up a changeup middle, only hung slightly. Semien flies out, no problem to Cedric Mullins in center field. And at that point, through 6 innings, Trevor Rogers has thrown 82 pitches through 6 innings. Defense helped him out as well. We're talking 2 outs, top of the 7th. Kyle Higashioka catching for the Rangers today. Hits this pop-up kind of in no man's land, that Bermuda Triangle area between left, center, and short. And it seems like it's between Mullins and Gunnar Henderson. And over the shoulder, Gunnar slides, is able to make that catch. And again, 6 pitches in that inning. The Rangers just eat out of his hand. The fastball was running north of 94 miles an hour, the changeup around 86, 88, and the slider, he even took a little bit more off of that, running around 80 miles an hour. What was also encouraging to see was Trevor Rogers did well with run support. We mentioned that 8-0 lead that eventually whittled away against the Tampa Bay Rays. And when Jackson Holliday hit that 3-run home run and he's up 4-0, you're wondering, how does he respond? Does he take a little bit off, or does he remain focused and continue to pound the zone? We saw a confident Trevor Rogers who has built up some lower body strength, pitching in 100-degree heat, and retires the final 7 batters he faces. Goes a full 8. First pitch lineout on a sinker low to Josh Young. Ezekiel Duran hits a grounder to Ramon Urias on a changeup. And then Justin Foscue, an 8-pitch at-bat, well battled, rolls over on a changeup and hits it to Ramon Urias. A complete 8-inning shutout performance by Trevor Rogers. 10 out of 10, no notes. He is our player of the game. Special shout out to Chadwick Trump for a well-called shutout. His first day back in the bigs. It can kind of look like the Baltimore Tide sometimes, what with Trevor Rogers and Trump and Kobe Mayo and some of the young guys, or some of the fringe guys, the Dylan Carlsons of the world, getting regular playing time. This was everything he could have asked for, and a well-composed performance in front of the fans at Camden Yards. And it was warming in the heart to see the celebration, the ovation that Trevor Rogers got, walking off, putting on the Jack Sparrow hat after 8 innings. Trump's a glove-first guy, but he did have a key hit in this game that we'll talk about a little bit after the break. With Maverick Hanley going on the concussion list for 7 days, this opens up a window for Trump to get some playing time. And with Gary Sanchez hit by another pitch in the wrist, you hope the catching situation is okay for Baltimore. We'll talk about that and a little bit more coming up right after this break. Wonder if Trevor Rogers got in on the wonderful Pistachios game. Snacks, delicious, nutritious, and it's a good source of protein. One of the highest value protein nuts, gives you over 10% of your daily value. They're packed with better for you unsaturated fats, which help you feel fuller for longer. I see these everywhere I go, at the store, at the gas station, and I do pick up just the regular flavor, no shells. It is full, fulfilling. It fills you up a little bit of a saltiness to it, but it's great. If you're not allergic to nuts, highly recommend. Get snackin', get crackin' with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. NBA Finals ended, so we turn completely into summer sports. Baseball under the lights, it is our game, America's game, the best game. If you like soccer, cool. Or golf. My former roommate in Annapolis loves golf, texts me about golf all the time. FanDuel is the best way to make every moment more exciting. Make it a little bit more thrilling with FanDuel. You can get in on the game with your friends and get sunburned at the beach while you're doing it. You can just bet from your phone. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, this FanDuel app, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. If you're new to FanDuel, you're a new customer, you can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's all one word, locked on, to get started. Just $5 for $150 in bonus bets. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring this show.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I wonder if the O's have figured out left-handers. Of late, they've been hitting the southpaw as well, and in fact, this month entered this game with a 105 weighted runs created plus, or WRC plus, against left-handers this month of June. Enter left-hander Patrick Corbin, who used to be persona non grata in Washington. He helped win their World Series in 2019 and then proceeded to have four pretty bad uh, seasons, ERA running north of 560 in some of those seasons. And when it comes to the O's, this was a well-fought game. It had the makings of a pitcher's duel. They were able to break out in a good way in the bottom of the fifth, and it is the subject of tonight's Turning Point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
1 out, bottom five. Corbin is starting to cruise. He's down 1-0. Kobe Mayo gets a first pitch sinker in on the hands, and he inside outs it to right field. This is the first pitch swing that the O's had since Jackson Holliday back in the bottom of the third, which was an RBI double. We'll talk about that in just a second. Mullins gets a single that he can pull to right field to Adolis Garcia. So the O's go station to station. They've got two runners on at first and second with 1 out. Chadwick Tromp then swings and misses at a changeup way outside. So with 2 outs, the onus is on Jackson Holliday with the lone RBI so far in this game. 3-1 count. Gets a sinker low and kind of outside middle against Corbin. Crushes it, goes oppo into the left field bullpen. Jackson's 9th home run of the season and his first 4 RBI games since the Grand Slam game against Cleveland in April. I believe that was a 9-0 win. Holliday's 2nd home run against the southpaw this season. That wasn't all Jackson did. We mentioned the bottom of the third. 2 outs. Chadwick Tromp is at the plate, hits a line drive to left field, and Haggerty tries to trap it, loses his glove in the process, and kind of rolls over it. Thought he might have done something to his wrist there, but fortunately he's good, and Sam Haggerty is able to continue to play the game. Good on Trump, though. He's got a limited window in the bigs. What could have been just a grateful single for this call-up from AAA Norfolk, he books it to second, takes advantage, and takes that extra base. And it's good, too, with 2 outs because Jackson Holliday then first pitch swinging a hanging slider. He hits into the right field corner. Trump scores, and it's 1-0. So the game-winning hit and the game-winning run scored by Chadwick Trump. Holliday also hit a single in the 9th to right field. It's his 7th 3-hit game of the season, and it leads the club. Holliday also second right now among AL second basemen in all-star voting. If he continues to hold on to that lead, he will proceed to the next round of voting. So a potential all-star bid for the second baseman, 21 years old, and 9 home runs. Some of those coaches in high school and college, they'll say that old cliche that you want to manufacture 1 run per inning. Just get in the opportunity, get a runner in scoring position, make sure you have a situation each inning where you can tack on a run or 2. And credit to the O's, they did just that. The 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. So 4 innings with a run scoring opportunity in a 5-inning stretch. That's exactly what you would ask for out of this offense that is limited, that didn't have Jordan Westberg or Adley Rutschman or Ryan Mountcastle or Tyler O'Neill. Some of the guys who were expected to take on the load and had, more of a power hitting profile to them. It was good to see everyone get involved tonight in this 11-hit performance against Patrick Corbin and the Texas Rangers. And they could have gotten a lot more, but to be honest, if you've got the bases loaded and you've got a bases loaded situation, that's totally fine. They did just that in the bottom of the 6th. They load the bases against Patrick Corbin. In fact, Gary Sanchez starts with a slider outside. He hits it into center field, get the leadoff man on for the first time in the game in the bottom of the 6th. Ramon Urias gets a sinker. He pulls it to left. The O's continue to go station to station. And then with a runner on second and first with no outs, Colton Cowser lays down the most pristine bunt down the left field line, so much so that Corbin and the infield just have to let it die on the grass. A bunt single for Colton Cowser in what otherwise could have just been a chance to offer himself up and get a sacrifice. With that high-pressure situation, manager Bruce Bochy pulls Patrick Corbin, puts in right-hander Jacob Webb to face Kobe Mayo. Mayo gets a change in on the hands, and he inside outs this to second. Pretty much a swinging bunt. Acts as a sacrifice, but Sanchez is able to score and make it a 5-0 ball game. You will take that. Give yourself up. You score a run in a bases loaded, no out situation. You do that enough innings consecutively, you start to get your swagger back, and you start to show that this team can compete in must score situations, for lack of a better term. 5 earned runs charged to Patrick Corbin over 5+, 9 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks to his credit, and a home run given up that we mentioned to Jackson Holiday. Through 6, the O's were 3 for 8 with the runners in scoring position, and in fact, they finished 3 of 10. So batting .300 with runners in scoring position tonight. Doing that just well. They did the same thing in the 7th with 1 out. Ramon Laureano doubles to left on a slider down. They intentionally walk Gunnar Henderson. Gary Sanchez gets hit on the left wrist and maybe part of the right hand, which you hate to see given the O's catching situation. And then Ramon Urias gets a cutter out over the plate that he likes. All he's got to do is hit it deep enough to center field, and he does just that. Sacrifice made it 6-0. The throw goes to third base, and Laureano can score easily. Easy. That's exactly the type of run manufacturing and situational hitting that we have been asking for the Baltimore Orioles for a long time. And it just comes in consistently. We carry on. The O's look to capture the series tomorrow and get back to this winning 2 out of 3. Maybe start another winning streak. There's still time to claw your way into being competitive. And the Rangers are in that group that you would have to leapfrog. Getting ahead of myself. Right-hander Charlie Morton is the announced starter for tomorrow. The Rangers TBD. Charlie Morton is having a great month of June. He's 3-0 with a 2.25 ERA. And what else could you ask for out of the 41-year-old right-hander? This is the Charlie Morton that I think some expected. The only clunker this month was in Sacramento. He only got 7 outs against the Athletics in that series that we'd all rather forget. But Charlie Morton is on the come up. And the more that he can do, coming off back-to-back wins in his best month so far, wins against the Angels and the Tampa Bay Rays, it could be the start of something special. Keep Charlie Morton in a groove. That's a 6:35 first pitch on NASN. This has been the Baltimore Orioles postcast. My name is Luke Slabaugh. I want to say thank you so much for joining us live on YouTube and right after on wherever you get your podcasts or YouTube on demand. Good night, stay safe, and I will see you right back here tomorrow night.